I'm not a man who makes predictions. I'm a man who keeps promises. Samoa Joe, the All Elite Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, at least one thing is looking positive as we speed into 2024 and beyond. Samoa Joe on top of the wrestling world once again, as he should be, one of the bright spots in the All Elite Wrestling landscape. I'm John Renton with my review of AEW Dynamite for Newark, New Jersey, the Prudential Center, and they had about a third of the capacity of that building. That crowd, even though they were trying to be very, very loud and at times were noticeably into the show, that crowd looked, felt, and sounded small. I was at the Dynamite that happened just a year ago today as of this recording. I'm recording this early Thursday morning, and I remember being there for the first Seattle AEW show, and yeah, there were a few, pitfalls on that particular show, but everybody was really into it. It was a raucous atmosphere, and stop running huge sports arenas without promoting them properly. Just please stop doing that, because there were some good things on this show, and then there were things maybe I want to pull what little hair I have left out of my goddamn head. That being said, how do you think things will look for AEW going forward in 2024? Because they don't have MJF for at least, I'd say, a few months. I think Revolution, maybe, probably Double or Nothing, because if he needs surgery, he might even be out until the summer. And Jericho wasn't on this goddamn show. Was he not needed? Was all that stuff going on with, the leaked stuff, the possibility of all, these things bubbling up from his past? Could those have been true? Who knows? Honestly, Jericho wasn't necessarily needed. Omega's out with diverticulitis. Hopefully he recovers and can have a great quality of life. I don't really fucking care what happens with the Young Bucks, and things are in a state of flux with AEW. That being said, so yeah, World's End Fallout. You can check out my review of World's End and Samoa Joe talking about the future. It was a great, backstage promo right after the pay-per-view. And then, he took everything from MJF after MJF tried to take his rightful world championship reign from him. And you want to take this from me? Well, I'm going to take everything from you. It's going to take a hell of a man to knock him down. There you go. Good kickoff. And now Adam Cole, baby, has Pyro, because there, and it's Cole, it's Bennett, it's Taven, it's Strong, it's Wardlow, it's the Undisputed Kingdom. Gee, it's Russo-rific, almost like what they're doing here. I mean, and look, I get it. They were the Kingdom, that stuff, it goes back to Ring of Honor. I get that. In the Undisputed Era. But this theme, good God. Yes, what's old is new again, but isn't it? Jesus. There were parts to this particular promo that I like. One, I'm amazed that Adam Cole, baby, is wanting to actually be on TV, despite the fact he's going to be in a tremendous amount of pain. I mean, that double ankle surgery, I don't know when he's going to come back. Double or Nothing at the soonest. He might be out till Wembley. Like, are they really going to try to push this thing out? Like, I like the guys involved, but, Cole cut a good promo because he's much better as a heel, even though he's a naturally nice guy. From interviews and from what I've heard from fans that have interacted with him, he's apparently a really nice guy. And, someday y'all will thank me. Even Tony Khan will thank me. And that MJF, well, I gave him everything. I gave everything to this friendship. And I busted my ankle double, ankle surgery, which just sounds goddamn brutal. And that MJF got cheered because of me, better than you, baby. It's me, and we're going to take all the gold. This actually wasn't that bad of an opener. The problem is it took a bit. It took a bit to get to it. They had to explain it. They could have gotten to the point a little bit quicker. Because there was one thing about this show that kept ringing in my head. This felt very much like an Attitude Era or even a current WWE program in this sense. There were long talking segments that maybe could have been tightened up a little bit. And if I'm going to insult WWE with it, I'm going to insult AEW here. Now, this made sense to give them time to talk. And naturally, I called it before it was revealed that Adam Cole was a devil, that Bennett and Taven were the guys that won the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. And honestly, two more than capable workers, and to try and build up anything with that brand, it's a good idea. Roderick Strong is going to go after the Internationalist Championship. Great, good. Maybe, Roddy can do that, throw it in the dirt, and maybe we can have an actual championship, because it's just a trinket. Wardlow will go after the world title, and then when Cole is cleared, Wardlow will hand it over to Adam Cole. Okay, so we're recreating the thing with MJF and Wardlow. Like with the championships and all that, and just, oh, God. It's old as new again. Tony Khan has no original ideas. He doesn't. Now, I'm not saying finding a heel stable and forming it is the worst thing. Anyway, Joe, I hope you're not champion when Wardlow, comes after the title, because I wouldn't want to hurt a friend. The devil's here to stay, baby. So then suddenly the leader of the Gangbang Gang shows up, Jay White, Jay White shows up, and he appreciates what Adam Cole did. Here's the problem. He says, I didn't like being collateral. So then the Guns show up. Austin and Colton, by the way, I probably should clarify that, given the, the real life stuff going on. I probably should clarify that shit. So then we get them right now, and then the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass show up, and my God, it's more Russo-rific stuff with the gang warfare, and it's the new blood in the Millionaires Club, and look, faction warfare is something that has been going on for a while, and when you have good established factions, it works. Here's the problem, especially with the Gangbang Gang. You have Juice Robinson out for the foreseeable future with some form of back issues. Surgery, I'm not sure, and even if it's something that can be alleviated, with a little bit of non-invasive surgery, I guess, or as non-invasive as back surgery can be, he's out at least for 6 months. They got a lot of people out. They really goddamn do. They need a boost. But yeah, we get gang warfare stuff, and that ate up about the first almost 20 minutes of the goddamn show. Recaps of Eddie achieving his dream. I do want to apologize, by the way, if my voice still sounds rough. I got a cold around almost a week ago as of this recording, and it really took me a few days to get over it, and even though I was protecting myself, doing what I could, I apologize if I still sound a little rough. Eddie got his confidence back. That's great. And then Garcia, he is going to prove that he belongs with Swerve in the ring. I probably should have phrased that a little bit better. It's not Pat Benatar's We Belong. But that's your main event. And then Orange Cassidy took on Dante for the Internationalist Championship, sponsored by Woo Energy. And we were about 21 minutes into the show when this started. And then 16 minutes later, Orange Cassidy won. Hook likes to eat flaming hot Cheetos, and Danhausen was there. And, well, Private Party's back. Where has Mark Quinn been? I assume injured, but it seems like he hasn't been on his television for like 2 goddamn years. I genuinely can't remember the last time Mark Quinn was around. Somebody please tell me. I watch a lot of wrestling. I'm not as young as I used to be. Old gray mare, she ain't what she used to be. But Jesus, I can't remember the last time I saw him. They're back in the tag division. Are they faces, heels? Who knows? I mean, good. Isaiah's done the best he can. Him and Mark Quinn, if they can get back and build some stuff back up, good. I hope they can both stay healthy. Renee was all over this goddamn show. She was everywhere. She was everywhere and with everyone. And then everyone's everyone. She was with Tony and Luther. Tony hates New Jersey. She's going to Broadway. Chin, tits, and shoe. Tony looks great. I did like how she said about, Mariah May's debut. I don't watch wrestling. How hard can it be? In this company, that actually is a funny line. It really is. Malachi Black. I don't know why I said Alistair, because he hasn't been in WWE for a while. But Malachi Black and Buddy, hey, FTR, we want to face you at Collision in North Carolina. And if we beat you, renounce your family and join ours. Is that an actual stipulation, or is that just saying we're going to demoralize you until you realize that we will only love you? Much like Whitney Houston, a lot of these feuds seem to be just dead in the goddamn water. That being said, I think that will be a halfway decent match. About Collision, I may review it. I may not. I don't know. I'm actually going to go see a sneak peek of The Beekeeper. I already got a ticket for it, and it's starting. I think it's like 40 miles away from me, but it starts like at like 7 o'clock. So I'm maybe going to be able to watch the first half of Collision and then just head out. So if that review's up later, I apologize. So Renee is, again, with Swerve because he swerves when he drives, and he swerves when he drives, and he swerves when he drives. And yeah, I can't really do the dance. But anyway, Nana is all thrilled. Swerve's all thrilled. It's about facing Garcia and then winning the big one. Swerve wants gold. He should be world champion. Here's what I fear is going to happen. Samoa Joe is going to lose to Orange Cassidy, and then Swerve's going to beat Orange Cassidy, which is going to completely negate the point of winning a big championship, because it won't be a big championship if Orange Cassidy wins it. Watch Tony Khan do that, Double or Nothing. Watch him do that. Because Samoa Joe could be a champion for 8 months. I think they'll cut it off at Double or Nothing. I hope not, but I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, Mariah May took on Queen Aminata, who posted, I guess her dad had passed away recently, and she was looking through pictures or going through his phone, going through his stuff, and he had pictures from her first tour of Japan. I guess he was proud of her being a wrestler, but she never told him that she was a wrestler. I mean, I don't know their relationship. I don't know that, but I feel bad that I guess apparently she had never told him, but he was proud of her, I guess, in his own way. I don't know. I feel bad that she lost her father. So good on her for using that as inspiration to get back on AEW programming and continue to do what she does. Mariah May's AEW debut. And we were 48 minutes into the show when this started. And Excalibur was mentioning Mariah May's Stardom run. I saw a couple matches. She's not bad. I mean, I can see why people praised her. Stiff drop kicks, stiff strikes. It was all right. It didn't last too long. They went about 6-7 minutes. It went through a break, and they liked Aminata. She got a couple near falls, and then Mariah May hit Mayday. Mayday, why, that's Russian New Year. You know, they have a big party and everything. If you know what movie that's from, I love you guys. Mariah May won. Renee's in the ring again. Seriously, Renee is being passed around more than Sunny was in the WWE locker room. So anyway, here's Mariah. She's over the moon. She just didn't want to she says the sad thing is her debut had to be in New Jersey. And then suddenly, music and a graphic. The virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo, who was trained by Rip Rogers. You know, the guy that was his main claim to fame on worldwide wrestling programming, was being tossed into the ring by Hawk at the Battle Bowl pay-per-view. No, really. That was the Battle Bowl pay-per-view in 93. Hell of a trainer. Not really much of anybody that anybody would care about, at least on a national stage. Nevertheless, Deonna Purrazzo's there. She's from New Jersey. I'm sorry. Congratulations. I'm sorry. Nothing against anybody in New Jersey. All right. Deanna's like, oh, well, you know, I interrupted you, and I'm going to come after Toni Storm and tell her that I'm coming after her. Tell her yourself, you bitch. And then they get in a bit of a fracas. So way to step all over Mariah May. And this is something similar to they did with Taya Valkyrie when she faced Jade, Jade, before she went off to WWE. They had Taya in a match, and it built up a bit of a title program, and then they forgot about her. Now, Deonna can work. She can. They couldn't get Mercedes. Maybe they'll get Mercedes. I don't goddamn know. This would have been a pretty meager crowd to debut her in front of at least. But you know what? Deonna can work. Let's see how she works. They need women that are experienced, that still have plenty of years to go. Hopefully, maybe they start building up some stuff on the women's division, and maybe you can actually feature a couple matches. If you build stuff up, eventually people will stick around. They won't jump off a goddamn cliff as far as the ratings go, because there are talented women there. So anyway, Christian Cage and the family, a.k.a. Nick Wayne, Lucha Switch, that's what I'm going to call him, and Shayna Wayne. Here's Shivani. He immediately gets the mic taken away from him by Shayna Wayne. I like Shayna. Do not get me wrong. I have said before, Nick, talented, great kid, super personable. Talked to him on multiple independent shows. Hardworking. Shayna, tremendously strong-willed woman to push on and on and on after losing the love of her life. Absolutely terrible. And very personal. Very, very nice. She did the same thing. You boo me, you boo mother. How dare you? You shouldn't do that. And I'm putting a lot more into it, I think, than creative did. And by creative, I mean Tony Khan. I'm sorry, but I don't mind Christian and Nick. I don't mind them as a team. I don't mind the idea of Shayna being a bitchy mother. I don't mind that. The thing is, this Christian Cage Copeland feud has not been good. They've tried to make the most of it. I'm sorry, this has not fired for me at all. The crowd is chanting for Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus. This whole thing of, will Lucha Switch actually turn? Who cares? When Wardlow finally did it, made sense. Yeah, the crowd will pop for it. I'm sorry, I've seen everything I need to see from Lucha Switch. And the crowd chants for Luchasaurus. Copeland goes to the back of the line, and he's done with him, and okay, this was more of the same. The balloon's starting to come off the rose with Christian as far as this. Even though he delivers this material well, and he is one of the best things going on AEW programming, it's kind of stagnated. It kind of has by now. So anyway, Renee is backstage with Ruby, Saraya, Defender of Abuserverse, and Harley, who, okay, was there... Sort of Vegas waitressing staff missing somebody? I mean, seriously, I'm not even knocking, but it's like, what did she steal Anna Jay's gear? I mean, like, it seemed like she raided her closet. Like, what? Why is this trio a thing? Why is Saraya on screen? Why? She has contributed nothing. Ruby, I guess the idea is it's going to be Saraya, and Harley as a team, or Holly, or whatever the fuck her name is. And Ruby's going to be pushed out. Ruby might be pushed back out to WWE at this point, because I cannot imagine she is very happy with this. If she has a 3-year deal, she probably is done by just around All Out this year. Whatever she wants. Let's talk about, something that I actually did enjoy. Takeshita versus Darby. Callis joins commentary, so that brings it down a bit. But look, okay, they interacted during the 8-man. I like that stuff. You got two young guys that do a lot of stupid shit, but also are very talented. I've seen Darby at multiple shows. He does a lot of crazy, stupid shit. Takeshita worked in DDT Pro, which has a lot of stupid shit, including that blow-up doll stuff, which is dumb. Really, really monumentally dumb. Just want to say, you guys can like it all you want. It ain't fucking wrestling. That being said, Takeshita is very talented. And he beat Omega twice in a short span, and then they forgot about him for a bit, and he's been around in the periphery. Then they involved him in that 8-man tag. This is how I would have done it. Say you want to build up a main event program, like, something that could be third from the top, if you really want to build this for Revolution, because obviously you wouldn't want to do it for Sting's last match. You would want to have that be the main event. Here's an idea. Just do pre-tapes and then promos, the next week. Do stuff to build it up. Do a 6-man, and Takeshita gets the victory by pinning Darby or something like that. So then you build it up. Then you do promos, and then you do a tag where, say, Fletcher teams with Takeshita and takes the pin, and Darby gets his hands on Takeshita, but he can't pin him, and you finally build it, and then you have Takeshita get his victory over Darby, or you have Darby beat Takeshita, and you leave it for a rubber match a little bit later. I'm not saying they can't build on something like this, and it was a pretty good match. There were some hard shots, there was a back body drop, shrieking Vince McMahon noises, and a rolling German on the ramp. I don't know why. A dive into the rail. Takeshita hurls his knee stupidly at the barricade. Good tactic. Coffin drop to the floor. They were cooking. They were doing some good stuff. There was Avalanche German. I don't know why they did that. And then a knee strike. 1, 2, 3. They did good stuff. I just think they could have built this and made it bigger. Takeshita won. I just want them to follow up on it. If they see things in this guy, please do something right by him. So anyway, Renee, again, with the Don Callis family, Takeshita yells in Japanese, and apparently it's going to be in Daly's place next week. That is being sold at about half capacity, apparently. Sting and Darby against Hobbs and Takeshita. Because Sting is undefeated at Daly's place, evidently. Or he's just undefeated in general. I think he is undefeated in general. Whatever. I know he hasn't been pinned. I know that much. Eddie Kingston comes out for to a big pop to be on commentary for this four-way. It's Brian Cage with Streets of Cage on his goddamn tights. The Boxing Kangaroo in Streets of Rage 2 has more charisma and less, derpability than Brian Cage. Brian Cage, who can do impressive stuff. And that's about it. None of it really registers because, he can do that. He can do some athletic stuff. But does anybody really care about Brian Cage? Does anybody really care? Does anybody care about Trent? Does anybody care about... And I'm not even knocking Brian Keith in a bad way. Because I know that he has impressed some people. And I've seen clips of him. He seems like he can work. And Vikino, the Viking man, who had Alex Abrahantes in his corner. And Rick Knox was a referee, so you might as well have just said, guys, just go out and do shit, because the referee ain't going to enforce nothing. And Danhausen got involved. And Trent pinned Brian Keith. It's another four-way, it's another multiple-person match. In any company, they just can't do them right when they do them so routinely. And they just dissolve into the same stuff. And Renee is backstage. This is so new. I like Renee, but my God, you have nobody else. You have Marvez. Stick with Renee. You could stick with Lexi. You have other people. Have Shivani off commentary sometimes and have him do the backstage interviews. That's an idea. Don't have so many people on commentary. Have Kevin Kelly do some of that shit. Do something. Here's Matt Menard. He's with Renee, and then Hangman shows up and says he's going to beat someone's ass. Maybe Menard's. If it kept him off commentary, that'd be a good thing. Swerve. We're going to swerve when he drives, and he swerves when he drives, and he swerves when he drives. And that's all I can do. And then Garcia. That's all you're going to get, because I can't do the Garcia dance. Even though it's simple, I lack any movement at all, as you can tell. So, they do their entrances, and we have 10 minutes left, so we're getting an overrun. We got about a 6-minute overrun. My DVR recorded it. Did yours? Swerve and Garcia had a good match that honestly lost me towards the end, and I will explain why. Crowd into it. Menard was annoying on commentary. I mean, I get it, but they were putting over the fact that Garcia has been getting better, even in defeat. If only they had done this stuff with Garcia when he was hotter and not had him join Jericho. Screw up again. And they actually could have done something right, but now they're having to basically start back at square one. A dance-off. We get the... And then we get the Nana... Ooh, ooh, ooh. We get the dance-off and everything. And apron, DVD, we go to break. We come back with 4 minutes left. Garcia fires back. We get a sharpshooter on the announcer's table where they both tumble to the goddamn floor. That's where it first lost me, but okay, accidents happen. I'm willing to forgive. House call for 2. This is after a superplex by Garcia, and then Swerve immediately hits his own suplex, because what is selling? And I like Swerve, but what the fuck? And house call for 2. Big stomp, 1, 2, kick out, and that's where they lost me. Bull. And I got nothing against Garcia kicking out stuff and showing fire. That stomp has put away a bunch of people. Have that be the finish. But anyway, we get one more. We get one more, Hail Mary near fall, and then we get a house call, and the sit out, the JML driver, I think is what he calls it. 1, 2, 3, and there you are. And then Menard gets Menard gets upset after there's a handshake and, a fist in the balls and everything. Nana fists him. And then Menard gets fisted. And then Hangman Hangman comes out, big pop. Then they get a big pull apart. I'll kill you. You're going to have to. And that's it. That's it. I went a little bit long on this particular Dynamite because I had certain thoughts and everything. So I'm going to say going forward, if there are times where I don't review Dynamite or if some Dynamite reviews are shorter, I'm getting burned out, guys. So there might be times I take a bit of a break if there's nothing interesting for me to talk about with a particular program. That goes for WWE, AEW, New Japan, it doesn't matter. And speaking of New Japan, as I'm recording this, Wrestle Kingdom 18 is still going on. I'm not going to watch that shit live anymore. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.